The Galactic Marriage Exchange Program was supposed to foster peace between species through arranged partnerships. It was also, as it turned out, an excellent opportunity for casual cruelty disguised as bureaucracy. Captain David Morrison had lost his sight in a combat accident 3 years ago. He was still valuable to the military, tactical analysis, training, strategy, but his commanding officers thought a marriage arrangement might help him adjust to civilian life. The Galactic Council agreed to participate. What they failed to mention was that they'd assigned him to ZYX-Aria. ZYX-Aria was the youngest daughter of the Krell-Vex royal family, a species known for their crystalline exoskeletons and geometric beauty. Among her kind, she was considered hideously deformed. Her crystalline structure had grown irregularly during development. Her facets were asymmetrical, her angles wrong, her light refraction broken in ways that made her difficult to look at. Even her own family found her appearance challenging. She had been offered to the blind human as a calculated insult, a way of disposing of an embarrassment while appearing charitable. David didn't know any of this when he arrived at the reception ceremony. He simply felt the gentle touch of her hand as it was placed in his. "Hello," she said softly, in perfect standard. "My name is ZYX-Aria. I'm told you cannot see me." "No," David confirmed. "Does that matter?" "I was hoping it wouldn't," ZYX-Aria said, and there was something in her voice, a fragile hope, that made David want to know everything about her. The first weeks were awkward. David had to navigate a marriage to a stranger. ZYX-Aria had to navigate being married to someone who experienced her in a completely different way than everyone else in her life. But David was genuinely curious about the world around him. He asked endless questions. "Describe yourself to me," he requested one evening. ZYX-Aria hesitated. "I'm geometric. My species has crystalline structures. Mine are not as aesthetically pleasing as they should be." "Show me," David said. "Let me touch you." Carefully, she guided his fingers across her exoskeleton. He traced the angles, the facets, the irregular patterns. His hands moved with genuine interest and zero judgment. "These asymmetries," he said thoughtfully, "they create interesting patterns. Light probably hits them differently than symmetrical structures." "Yes," ZYX-Aria said quietly. "That's why I'm considered ugly. The light scatters unpredictably." "That doesn't sound ugly to me," David said. "That sounds like a prism. That sounds like something that could create rainbows." ZYX-Aria was silent for a long moment. Then she began to cry, the first time she'd allowed herself to cry since childhood. Over the following months, David's perception of ZYX-Aria transformed her self-perception entirely. He didn't pity her or tolerate her appearance. He genuinely appreciated her. He described to her how he saw the world through touch and sound, and ZYX-Aria realized that his blindness meant he experienced beauty in ways sighted beings couldn't. She began to understand her own asymmetries as unique rather than defective. Then the Krell-Vex royal family visited. They arrived expecting to find David miserable, suffering through marriage to a defective member of their species. Instead, they found something utterly unexpected: genuine happiness. David was teaching ZYX-Aria to cook Earth food. She was teaching him traditional Krell-Vex music. They moved around their quarters with the ease of two people who knew each other intimately. When David reached out, she was there. When she spoke, he listened with complete attention. ZYX-Aria's mother approached David carefully. "You are satisfied with this arrangement?" David looked in her general direction, his sightless eyes still somehow conveying absolute certainty. "I married an extraordinary woman. I'm honored every single day." "But her appearance," the mother said carefully. "Surely you've heard." "I haven't seen her appearance," David interrupted. "I've experienced her mind, her humor, her strength, her kindness. I know her through touch and voice and laughter. Those things don't have appearances. They just have truth." ZYX-Aria's brother stepped forward. "You were given her as an insult. We expected you to reject her." David's expression hardened. "Then you did me an enormous favor by revealing yourselves to be the kind of people who would do that to your own daughter." That evening, as the royal family departed in shame, ZYX-Aria held David's hand. "Thank you," she said. "For what?" David asked. For seeing me, she said. Really seeing me. Without eyes. Somehow you see better than anyone who looks at me ever could. David smiled. That's because I'm not looking at you. I'm listening to you. I'm feeling you. I'm being with you. And every single one of those things tells me I married someone remarkable. The Galactic Council received their report weeks later. The marriage exchange program had failed catastrophically. The blind human had somehow formed a genuine connection with his assigned partner instead of rejecting her as intended. What they didn't understand was that it wasn't a failure at all. It was a revolution, because David had discovered something revolutionary. That when you removed one sense, you didn't lose your ability to perceive beauty. You just learned to find it in places others had missed. And Zwiak's Arya had discovered something equally revolutionary. That beauty was entirely dependent on who was doing the perceiving. In a galaxy obsessed with appearance, a blind man and his ugly, alien wife had found something far more valuable than physical perfection. They had found each other.